It was a calm Thursday morning in the upper Midwest, a typical spring day filled with blue skies, warm temperatures, and the hum of everyday life. But beneath the surface, the atmosphere was quietly priming itself for a violent transformation.
I've never seen one that close.
By late morning, meteorologists were tracking signs of atmospheric instability brewing across southern Minnesota and into Wisconsin. Warm, humid air surged northward, while colder, drier air aloft swept in from the west, setting the stage for a textbook clash of forces. Radar scans began lighting up with deepening thunderstorm cells. It was clear something dangerous was taking shape. Shortly after noon, the first warnings were issued. A line of severe storms erupted just west of Minneapolis. Towering supercells began developing rapidly, turning the sky into a swirling canvas of charcoal gray and green. Residents reported seeing ominous cloud formations, rotating bases, and wall clouds inching closer by the minute. Then came the sirens. In the Twin Cities, sirens wailed across neighborhoods as radar indicated rotation tightened over the metro area. Traffic came to a halt. People fled into basements. Lightning flashed like strobe lights over the skyline, and wind gusts began snapping limbs from trees. The atmosphere had flipped in an instant, from spring tranquility to violent chaos. As the storms barreled eastward into Wisconsin, they grew stronger, more organized, and far more dangerous. By mid-afternoon, Dodge County became the epicenter of destruction. Around 4:30 p.m., a tornado touched down near the city of Mayville, and it wasn't long before the devastation began. The twister cut a jagged path through residential neighborhoods and industrial zones alike. Entire rooftops were ripped from homes. Metal buildings were twisted into mangled heaps. Video from the ground showed shredded trees, broken power poles, and debris scattered for blocks.
Guess there's a first for everything.
In the nearby town of Juneau, the destruction was just as severe. Photographs captured shattered windows, splintered fences, and homes that were left with little more than their foundations. Massive trees were uprooted and tossed like matchsticks. One photo showed a child's swing set wrapped around a telephone pole, testimony to the force of the winds. The Dodge County Sheriff's Department immediately declared a state of emergency. Multiple injuries were reported, though miraculously, none were life-threatening. Emergency responders worked through fallen lines and flooded streets to reach those trapped inside their homes. The Mayville Fire Department was quickly overwhelmed with calls. Firefighters responded to numerous gas leaks, buildings on the verge of collapse, and medical emergencies. One fire crew described arriving at a home with its roof gone and finding an elderly couple huddled in the bathtub, the only part of their home still intact. They survived without a scratch. The power grid was another casualty. Transformers exploded in flashes of blue as the storms rolled through, leaving tens of thousands without electricity in Dodge, Fond du Lac, and Sheboygan counties. Power crews from across the region were called in, but it would take days to restore service to some of the hardest-hit neighborhoods. And the storm system wasn't done. As the clock struck 5:15 p.m., the National Weather Service confirmed another tornado touchdown, this time over Loyal, a small town about 12 miles northeast of Neillsville. Just minutes later, a separate tornado was spotted, moving toward Colby and the Highway 13 corridor. The roads were quickly deserted, as residents fled to shelters. In Rib Falls, a brief but destructive touchdown occurred along County Highway H and Cherrywood Lane. Trees snapped in half, barns were destroyed, the sky rumbled with relentless thunder. In Bancroft, a brief tornado just before 6 p.m. sent debris into the air and tore siding off homes. Roads were blocked by fallen trees and utility lines. Law enforcement confirmed the touchdown and began conducting welfare checks in neighborhoods left dark and silent by the storm's passage. Meanwhile, farther south in Madison, a separate storm brought a different kind of terror, hail. Video footage captured a relentless barrage of hailstones, some the size of golf balls, pounding rooftops and patios. The sound was deafening. Car alarms went off across the city as hail shattered windshields and dented hoods. In some neighborhoods, it looked like a snowstorm had swept through as hail piled up in drifts.
I got video.
Battering more of central and eastern Wisconsin, the sky turned an eerie orange hue as the sun set behind towering anvils of storm clouds. In the fading light, the damage was only beginning to come into focus. Silhouettes of splintered trees lined the roads, and flashing lights from emergency vehicles lit up neighborhoods in chaos. Throughout the night, first responders worked tirelessly. Red Cross shelters were opened. Neighbors checked on one another. Generators roared to life across townships that had lost electricity. Volunteers formed cleanup crews and began removing fallen limbs and patching broken windows. The sense of community was strong, but the pain was real. Meteorologists later confirmed that this was part of a broader, multi-day severe weather outbreak that is far from over. The same storm system is now pushing into Indiana, where severe weather threatens cities like Indianapolis, just as Indy 500 qualifiers get underway. More tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds are expected in the days ahead.
This is super ridiculous, man.
Survey teams from the National Weather Service were dispatched across the state Friday morning. Early reports suggest multiple EF1 and EF2 tornadoes touched down across Wisconsin, though some damage points may be upgraded pending further investigation. The scale of this outbreak is massive. The scars it left behind are visible not just in damaged homes and broken trees, but in the stories of those who lived through it. Families who took cover in basements as walls shook. Parents who shielded their children as windows blew out. Farmers who emerged from storm shelters to find their barns flattened. This was a night of fear, a night of destruction, a night that won't be forgotten in Wisconsin for years to come, and the skies may yet bring more. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.